let's look at how parse stores data. So when parse receives data, it takes data via key value pair. It takes, for example, like it stores your data pretty much like this. So let me show you saving in an object. So the first thing you do is parse. You create a new object, call it game score. For example, here game score. And in this game score, this is going to be like now a class, or in this representation, think of this as a table, game score. So it's going to be like this test object. So it's going to be game score. So parse object, we create, the first thing is the game score. And then inside that game score, we say game score dot put. So we now put data into it. So for example, here is going to be game score dot put. So actually, let me just get rid of this data here and drop this class so that I can really show you exactly what I'm talking about. So drop class and user. So I'll head back to parse and copy this, and I'll run this when the app just runs on create. So I'll put that in there and I will run it, and our app runs. Let's see. The Android Studio takes a little bit of a second to run compared to Eclipse when it comes to running it on an emulator, but that's okay. So if we refresh our data now, because I noticed that we have a new object, so let's get rid of this test object. Actually, we didn't get rid of it. It's simple, we just click it and then drop class. All right, so here we have the data. So the game score is the new table we want is called game score, and we have the game score here, and we have one object in it. The first object is this one, game score.put. So the score of the game, the player name, the cheat mode. So these are all installed, I all put in here. So as you can see, score here, the first key value is the key. The first value here is the key, and it goes to at the top. It's score. It's always the column name. The value of it, 1337, is an integer. It's always the now content of the column. So it's like the object data. So something like that. But you get the point. Key value pair. It's pretty simple. And parse has some default data that it inputs to it as soon as you add an object to it, like the object's ID, and the time it was created, and the time it was updated, and the ACL. So those are pretty useful stuff that you might need to use them in your development. Now, once you put data into parse, if you want to retrieve the data, so let's say, for example, we want to get to fetch the data from parse and like display the player name on, okay, let's say we want to get data from parse where the user player name is Cat Paul. It's pretty simple. You can just use find in background. Parse has, so retrieving objects right here, and parse has really, this is for retrieving an object when you know its object ID. So that's pretty handy if you know its ID. If you don't, you could use find in background or get in background. So parse has really cool, they have that detail information, and we're going to be covering a few of this in a short while. So I just wanted to walk you through that right now. So that's how parse.com pretty much works. But also the users, we'll be adding users. So users are treated as objects as well. So signing up is just pretty simple. Parse user, you create a new user, and this will create a new user table here called user. And then we're going to say the user, set the username is what the user provide, set the password is what the password the user provides, set the email the user provides, and other data that we would like, and then sign up in background. So we always recommend signing up in background because that's the best, I would say, because you don't have to interfere with your main thread, which would cause some like runtime errors or unnecessary crashes. So in the next video, I don't know if I've exhausted this video. Yeah, in the next video, I'll be showing you now how to start creating, designing our XML layout of holding our users and our register activity. So see you in the next video.